What's up, you guys? Welcome back. Happy New Year. Happy 2023. I hope the year has kicked off on the right foot for all of you. With the beginning of a new year comes the closing of another one. That was very deep, I know. Thanks. You guys, 2022 gave us some of the best new horror movies in the past 10 years. It simply was a triumph for film in general, but specifically, we've seen so much more hype and fanfare around horror as a genre, and that is so fucking cool to see. With that being said, I know I am a little late to the game. I know it's a few days into January, but I asked you guys on Instagram if it was too late, and you said,
No, Jess, it's not too late. I need to know your top 10.
So here are my top 10 horror movies of 2022. Let's start with my number 10 horror movie of 2022, and it is one of the most surprising ones, one I didn't expect to put on this list at the end of the year, and that is Smile. To be completely honest with you, I had the lowest of low expectations going into this movie. I got huge truth or dare vibes from that Smile and the whole marketing thing or whatever. Yeah, I didn't expect what I got, and what I got was a pleasantly surprising experience, and I really liked it. I didn't think it was anything groundbreaking. We've seen the formula over and over and over again, but I think that it pulled it off successfully in a way that wasn't cheesy, that wasn't overtly jumpy and jump scary. If you haven't seen Smile yet, it follows a psychiatrist, therapist, one of that. She witnesses a bizarre suicide, and from there, these strange events keep happening to her, and she believes that she is now part of this cycle of events. And I'm not going to say anything more than that because I do think it's a good movie. I mean, it's on my top 10 list. I encourage you guys to check it out if you haven't already. I'm sure you have. So yeah, number 10. Number 9 on my list was yet another one that really surprised me, and that's Bones and All. Going into this movie, I had no idea what to expect. I knew that it was like a coming-of-age romance movie that also featured themes of cannibalism, and I didn't know how heavily that theme was going to be all throughout the movie. And it turns out this is a movie about cannibalism. So to the people who are saying that this is not a horror movie, have you watched it? Because this is more of a horror movie than a lot of other horror movies that have come out this year. Of course, we have Taylor Russell and Timothée Chalamet in the leading roles. However, there's one character that really sticks in my mind, and that's Mark Rylance. Mark Rylance did an amazing job as Sully, who is the antagonist in this movie. I guess I would call him the antagonist for sure. There's probably a few, but he's the main one. His role and what he is trying to accomplish, we don't even know. We don't know what he wants, and that's why it's very scary, especially the ending of this movie. A lot of people didn't like, and I understand that. I think it was abrupt, and that was immediately a critique of mine as well. But now talking to other critics and reviewers, I definitely understand why it took that route, and I think it was really impactful. While I wish it would have ended differently, I wish that for a lot of movies, but I think this one really deserves to be on my top 10 list. Moving on to number 8 on my list, of course, we have a Shudder original, Watcher, a psychological thriller written and directed by Chloe Okuno in her directorial debut. We have Maika Monroe, who has really made such a name for herself in the horror community. I love her. I think she is just super talented. And that really shines in Watcher because it's a movie that relies heavily on her performance, and she does it really, really well. If you haven't seen it, it follows an American couple, Julia and Francis, who moved to Bucharest, and she starts experiencing a feeling or an instinct that someone may be watching her. In my opinion, Watcher accomplished what the movie Men by Alex Garland did not, and that is it approached a theme that is heavily prevalent in a woman's everyday life, and that is being believed. And then we also have that unique perspective of this movie being directed by a woman, so the whole aspect of that theme was just really well done. While Men, on the other hand, I felt like this movie would have benefited having a woman at the helm. So if you want my advice, skip Men, watch Watcher. It really is great, and Maika Monroe, I can't wait to see what she does next. Number 7 on my list is one that really disturbed me the most, that messed me up the most, that made me look at my TV wide-eyed and slack-jawed for about 20 minutes after the credits wrapped up, and that, of course, is Speak No Evil. I don't know why do I enjoy putting myself in situations that are gonna make me uncomfortable, upset, and angry, because this movie made me all three of those. Speak No Evil follows a Danish family who meet this other foreign family during a vacation, and this other family ends up inviting that Danish couple and their daughter over to their countryside manor for a vacation, and I bet you can all see where this is going. After I was done watching this movie, I had a little bit of a reflection. I wanted to sit there and figure out exactly why some characters made the decisions that they did, because at the end you can feel quite frustrated and angry and upset. Sometimes when you're put in a really tough and foreign and unexpected situation, you freeze up. They always say, like, fight or flight. You either run or you fight, but they don't hit on that middle ground, which is you're frozen in fear. You don't know what to do. You don't know how to react because you have never been in a situation like that before. And that's what I think they were trying to push in this movie, was that third option of, I don't know what to do, so I'm just gonna go with it until the problem goes away. And then, of course, the problem never went away. Speak No Evil is one of those movies where I would highly suggest you look up trigger warnings before watching it, because it does delve into some really disturbing themes, but I would highly recommend if you're interested in a little darker side of the horror genre. Number 6 is one that I struggled with when I was making this list. I really had to weigh the pros and cons because it started off super high at the beginning of the year, and then we just kept getting bangers, man. We just kept getting bangers, and it was so tough to make this decision. But my number 6 movie is X. We all know it. We all love it. I'm just as surprised as you guys are, because when that movie came out, I reviewed it and I was singing its praises, and I still do. I think it did such a cool thing for the genre, and that's approach a decade in horror where you bring in themes from other iconic horror movies like Texas Chainsaw, and you make it your own. You put your own unique twist on it. You put your own stamp on it, and that's what Ty West did in X, and I think that's so freaking cool. He also introduced us to everyone's favorite character of the year, Maxine, or everyone's favorite actress of the year, I should say, Mia Goth as Maxine and Pearl. We'll get to that. Now that I've given my chance to sit back and think about it, I've rewatched this movie over and over and over again. There were some things that I just found a little bit lacking, some things that I wanted expanded on a little bit more, and that's why it kind of fell in the ranks like it did. But please don't get me wrong, X is a fantastic movie, and I will still love it and still sing its praises, and I can't wait for Maxine to come out. Okay, we have made it to my top 5 movies of 2022. This was really tough, but I think once I got that really hard decision of moving X to my number 6, then the top 5 became really clear. And my number 5 is Bodies, Bodies, Bodies. Listen, I know a lot of people didn't like this movie. I know a lot of people thought this movie was dumb or stupid or just were really upset with the ending. Yeah, it's stupid. The ending is dumb, but that's the point, and I loved it. When I first heard that we were getting a Gen Z slasher whodunit set in the middle of a hurricane party in Pete Davidson's daddy's mansion, I was worried. We all were worried, because what happens whenever you mix up Gen Z dialogue with a writing team who is way older than Gen Z? It sounds dumb, it sounds stupid, it sounds like you're not connected with the times, and Bodies, Bodies, Bodies proved us wrong on all of those fronts. I don't know if it was just my viewing experience with this movie. I had a really fun audience. It was funny, and it was clever, and it was different and new, which we desperately needed. I think the main thing that you'll see in the rest of my top 5, they're all unique ideas. They're all new. They're all pushing the boundaries in some way or another. And I personally love whenever a movie has the balls to take a different approach and give us something silly, goofy, fun, still being a murder mystery. And that's what Bodies, Bodies, Bodies was. At the end of the day, the ending I wish would have gone into a little bit more of an explanation, but I had fun with it, and I still continue to have fun with it to this day. So okay, you guys, number 4. I couldn't put Miss Pearl back here hiding if I was not going to include her in my top 10 list. Of course, number 4 is Pearl. The stunning prequel to X, Pearl is everything that we wanted and more. We wanted Homicidal Granny's backstory, and Mia Goth gave that to us in spades. I don't think anyone is going to sit here and argue with me about her performance, because it was arguably the best female performance of the year. Her 9-minute monologue at the end of this movie is one of the best things that I have seen in a very long time. I love me a mentally unhinged character. I love whenever they can dive deep into someone's psyche and really show us the reason why they are the way that they are. And Pearl chooses to express herself in some pretty different outlets that include a scarecrow and or an axe. The more I sat on this movie, the more I loved it, the more I think she's such an important character in horror, and I cannot wait to see Maxine. My ass is going to be the first one in that chair, and I can't wait. Number 3 on my list is going to be one that I have talked about for a long time. It's one that I have always been championing for, that I thought was going to be one of the best of the year, and I was right for once, and that is The Menu. Of course, The Menu is more of a dark comedy horror film directed by Mark Malloy, starring Anya Taylor-Joy and Ralph Fiennes. I can't even wrap my head around it. It just came out on HBO Max again today, so I'm gonna watch it tonight. I loved everything about this movie. I am always here for a good eat the rich story, and especially ones that have good social commentary, like the foodie community that this basically attacks. I think it's hilarious, it's extremely accurate, and I think even the foodie community will agree with you on that one. Ralph Fiennes does a great job portraying a chef who has been so successful in reaching all of his goals, but still feels empty inside at the same time because the prestige really wasn't what it was cut out to be, and it's him mocking people for thinking way too far into these outrageous meals that they'll pay thousands and thousands of dollars for on an exclusive island that you have to pay this amount of money to come to. It's ridiculous. It's hilarious, and I think it's extremely smart. I love the twists and turns. Of course, I love Anya Taylor-Joy. She's one of my favorite actresses of all time. I think she does a fantastic job, but the standout in this movie is Ralph Fiennes. His performance, chef's kiss, pun intended. I would highly encourage you guys to check it out. Like I said, now, today, it's on HBO Max. So yeah, check this one out. It's my number 3 for the year. We have made it to my top 2 horror movies of 2022, and I'm pretty sure you guys have a feeling of where this is going, but you're not exactly sure where they're going to fall, and I wasn't sure where they're going to fall either until I put this list together. My number 2 is Barbarian. Barbarian is a movie that made me re-fall in love with horror. I literally can't put it in any other way. I know there are people who don't like it. I know of people who don't like it. I respect that totally, 100%. I wrote in my initial Letterboxd review that if you could guess how the plot was going to turn out, I would personally hand you $100. I did not give out $100 to anybody because it's impossible to go into this movie knowing nothing and trying to predict the plotline, because it is one of the most crazy and confounding and interesting and funny plot lines that I've seen in a horror movie in a long time, and I ate that shit up. Barbarian was written and directed by Zach Kreger, who did an incredible job keeping us in the dark the whole time, basically. Whenever you go from one dramatic scene to another scene that's equally as dramatic but in a different way, and you're getting whiplash, but you want to see how it all ties together in the end, and that's how I was feeling while I was watching Barbarian. I've watched it 3 times since. I've shown my brother, I've shown my friends, and they all feel the same exact way. So yeah, I could sit here and sing Barbarian's praises all day long and be totally fine with it, actually. But I'm not. I'm going to move on to my number 1. Can you guess what it is? It's not Scream. It's not Halloween Ends. My number 1 is Nope. I know, I'm surprised too. I didn't see that coming, actually, until I sat down and really had to be honest with myself about my feelings. This movie is a true blockbuster horror, and of course I think Jordan Peele is a genius. I love everything that he does. Get Out is my favorite Jordan Peele movie, but Nope is just, I don't even think you can compare the two. They're like apples and oranges, you know? And a lot of people don't like it. A lot of people think that it was overhyped, that it was overstuffed with hidden messages, and just that you have to pay attention the entire time to understand what's going on. And I really have to disagree with that. I think that Jordan Peele knows that you're going to go into one of his movies trying to overthink and overanalyze absolutely everything. And he made a point of saying, just enjoy the movie. And that's what you have to do with Nope. You just have to sit there and enjoy it, because at the end of the day, it's a spectacle, and that's the point. Daniel Kaluuya and Keke Palmer are some of the best actors of our generation, and I think that they do an excellent job conveying that brother-sister relationship that has been through its trials and tribulations. But sorry, that was my dog. Are you done? And even though their characters are going through something no one has gone through before, they do a really great job of making sure that the emphasis is still on the characters and that development, and I don't see enough movies doing that. And before you say that, oh, it wasn't even a horror movie, it wasn't even scary, agree to disagree, because something that I am very terrified of are things of the unknown. And I think Jean Jacket really represents that. just the overall mystery of what is among us that we have no idea is among us. And that's why Jean Jacket, I think, is so scary. Also, that scene of when they're at Jupiter's Claim while Jupe is doing that show, and they show that shot inside of Jean Jacket while no spoilers, okay? I'm not gonna spoil it for you. If you haven't seen, no, please watch it. But it's a shot inside of Jean Jacket while stuff is happening, and the sound design is really smart there, and it is scary, to say the least. So yeah, that about wraps it up. Those are my top 10 of 2022, and I'm really proud of that list, and I really think it captures what an excellent year we've had for horror and what I think is going to be just as good of a year for 2023. I can't wait. Let me know your top 10 down below, but also leave me a movie that you're really excited for in 2023, because like I said, it's going to be a great year. We've already seen so much hype coming from movies like Scream 6, Evil Dead Rise, Infinity Pool, which I'm really excited for. But thank you again, you guys, for watching. As always, I really appreciate your support. 2022 was such a great year for me and this channel, and I can't wait to keep it going. The ceiling is the roof. Again, Happy New Year, and I'll see you guys soon. Stay creepy.